Yeah, same kind of thing. The latest polls had him up like 7 points, but we'll see. But until then, today in history, everybody's heard this. 1884, this is the day where William Sherman, General Sherman, refused the Republican presidential nomination, saying, "I will not accept if nominated and will not serve if elected." And there's been people saying that ever since. TC, how many of these egomaniacs today do you think would refuse the Republican nomination for the presidency? I say zero.
Right. They're all playing hard to get.
Playing hard to get.
Christie, Rubio. Nah, yeah. I don't want. Well, if you insist, all right.
Yep. In 1907, automatic washer and dryer were introduced. No more washboards. TC, have you ever washed clothes on a washboard?
No, I've never done that.
What's the science behind washing your clothes on a washboard?
I guess there's the agitation. I don't know. I mean,
crazy, isn't it?
I'd be agitated, but no more Blue Mondays.
1947, Secretary of State George C. Marshall outlined the Marshall Plan, which saved Eastern Germany. 1956, the federal courts ruled racial segregation on Montgomery buses is unconstitutional. You can thank Rosa Parks for this. 1968, my final thing I'm going to mention today, at 12:16 a.m. today, that would have been earlier today, Sirhan shot and killed Bobby Kennedy, who died the next day. Sad day in history.
Very sad.
Isn't that crazy that he got the death penalty, and then it got, they changed the law, and then he didn't get the death penalty?
Right. Now, did he die in prison?
I rest my case. No, I think he's still alive. Isn't he? Or did he recently die?
I remember there was something in the paper about him a few years back, but I can't remember what the...
You know my theory about life imprisonment? That's Exhibit A. Yeah. Him and Charlie Manson. Today's birthdays. We have some good birthdays today. One of my favorite actors. He's a man's man, a woman's man. Mark Wahlberg is 41 today. Mark Wahlberg is 41. You're a Kenny G fan, TC?
I like his music.
Kenny G, he's all right. 56 years old. The ladies liked it.
Yeah.
Susie Orman, Miss Financial. We should all listen to her more, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
And Ken Follett, who is 63. Isn't he the Jeopardy guy?
Oh, the big winner?
No, he's not 63. Who the heck's Ken Follett? I'm having a brain infarction.
We'll have to Google that one, find out who that is.
Sad to report, once again, we have some military deaths. Marine Lance Corporal Joshua Witzman, 23, of Covington, Indiana, died May 30th while supporting combat operations in Helmand Province, Afghanistan. And also, we lost Army Specialist Gerardo Campos, 23, of Miami, Florida. We would like to give our great thanks to both of these young men, their families, their loved ones, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine, the Guard. And we keep saying, bring them all on home. TC, I think there's one of these few things about, there's a lot of things about Facebook, which is good. One of the things about Facebook that I think is neat is that you do get to find and catch up with people that you had no idea where they were or what they're doing. Like, for example, old classmates.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't followed, until Facebook came along, I didn't know what lots of people that I went to high school with. And it's kind of neat. Hey, what are you doing? You haven't seen these guys since 1979.
Yeah.
And last night, I had a friend request from somebody that I went to Thomas More College with. And she was in the nursing department. And now she's a professor of nursing.
Really?
And it was kind of like, dang, I hadn't thought of her forever. And out of the blue, hey, remember Thomas More?
It's amazing because you remember them one way. The last time you saw them, you're
right.
Young, college kids, whatnot.
Right.
Wow, now she's in a position of responsibility.
Right.
You're in a position of responsibility.
Right. I just thought we were all kids once. I don't know if you're like this, but when I meet up with and I come across people from grade school, high school, college, law school, you instantly go back.
Yes.
You instantly go back. And that's how you remember them, you know. And you still see them in that light.
Right, yeah.
It's impossible not to.
You're right. You still see them as, 17, 18, 19-year-old or however, when you
right.
last saw them or whatnot. When I went to my 20-year reunion, they had a big get-together with you bring your families, a grill out and that kind of thing over at Winton Woods. And I'm sitting at this one table, and I look up, and I see this girl. She was about 14, 15 years old. And I said, "You're Debbie's daughter, aren't you?" She looked at me like, "How do you know?" I said, "You look just like her. Your mom looking." That's exactly how she looked.
Well, you know what's interesting. Of course, I don't have hair, so people probably look at me and say, "Man, you look different."
Yeah.
She looked the same.
Really?
I mean, seriously, time's been good. Some people age well, some don't. But it is true. You get transported back to that time. And how about this, TC? Our kids don't remember or don't even think of us. Hey, we were teenagers.
I know.
They look at us like, oh, we're old people.
My dad was hip one time.
Like we don't know anything that they're up to.
Yeah, exactly.
They think we don't know anything we're up to.
We've all told the same lies just 20 years earlier.
We want to honor, just like everybody else in the tri-state today, I am sure we'll be honoring the loss, the death, rest in peace of Pedro Borbon. He was the Reds' leader in career pitching appearances, and he died at the age of 65 to cancer.
Oh, man, that's...
Remember he bit that guy in that fight? He's most famous for the bite.
Yeah.
And they also stuck him once in a dryer or a washer, one of those big commercial dryers and washers in the locker room, I think. Or was that Concepcion? I forget.
It might have been Concepcion's a pretty tall guy.
Pedro Borbon was a fighter.
He was.
And you know what? In 1978 or 79, when they traded him, he put a hex and a curse on, he's like in a voodoo or something, on the Reds, and they didn't win much until they won in 1990.
You're right.
Pedro's curse.
The 80s were kind of sparse for the Reds, weren't they?
Boy, were they were rough. The years of what? Clint Hurdle? God, I remember going to those. Gee, not very good. Not very good. Not very good at all. You know what, TC?
What's that?
We love Herman Cain, don't we?
He's our man, still.
WSB Radio announced that Neil Bortz is going to retire after 42 years on Monday, and Herman Cain will air his first show at 9 a.m. on Inauguration Day.
He's got his own show
Herman Cain is replacing Neil Bortz.
What time is it going to be on? 999?
Yeah, 999. I want to know how come I didn't get a phone call on that.
Because you got to do the radio show.
No, that's right. Gwyneth Paltrow is defending her use of the N-word as it is part of a song title. The song by friends Jay-Z and Kanye West was sung 11 times at the concert she attended in Paris. Gwyneth, you've broke the rule.
Was she singing with
White people can't say the word. Kanye and Jay-Z can. Gwyneth singing that word is kind of like weird. Kind of.
Yeah, out of your culture.
Not much street cred. Not out of her culture element. Not good. How about Madonna? Well, we'll get to Madonna when we come back.
There we got 20 seconds.
Yeah, we come back. We will have more radio superbity, including all the fun things that are going. We like to start you out light. We like to start you out light before we get into the heavy-duty stuff right here on the best radio station, Real Talk 1160. Eric Deters, the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. You can check out what the gun meant to save lives. How you like that? A gun meant to save lives. You know what that was? The Gatling gun.
Oh, okay.
The Gatling gun. And you can check that out in my newsletter and on the blog. And also, today's famous Cincinnatian is A.O. Russell. And guess what, folks? Can you say U.S. playing card?
Ah.
How you like that?
A.O. A-OK with me.
You want to learn a little bit more about that? Check that out. During her show in Tel Aviv last week, the face of the National Front leader, how you like that, National Front leader, Marine Le Pen, showed up briefly on a video screen with a swastika on his forehead. Jeez, oh Pete.
And what was that all about?
I don't know, but Madonna is apparently in trouble, as she should be. Bill Maher, as reported by the Huffington Post, says George Steinbrenner did not represent New York well and says that Steinbrenner and Trump should be buried together. I tell you, Bill Maher has weird stuff.
I think he just goes around looking for people to irritate.
I think he does, too.
He's a funny guy, but he's probably the kid in school that just found something wrong with everybody and pointed out all their faults.
Oh, there's actually, he actually had a kind of almost a confession on his show. I guess it was about a month ago or something. He admitted he was bullied. And I tell you right now, you can just watch him, listen to him. He is classic. He was the little twit that got bullied, and now he's a big stuff guy, and he's saying,
Yeah, in your face.
He's getting everybody back.
Yeah.
I mean, how about this, folks? What do you think of this? Freedom, liberty. Apparently, students, according to Channel 5, students at the University of Cincinnati are asking for a campus smoking ban.
Really?
The students are getting the message. Smoking is bad for you.
How about that?
I don't know. I'm Mr. Liberty, but on the other hand, I don't know. That doesn't really bother me.
Cigarettes, then the sugar, then the Big Macs. In that order.
That's right. What comes next? Hey, TC, have you heard the latest plan at the stadium?
What's that?
It's to borrow more money.
From Hamilton County.
Then keep the half-cent sales tax in place after the stadiums are paid off.
So who's going to loan Hamilton County money?
I don't know.
I mean, they've made some pretty poor decisions the past few years.
I mean, I agree with you 100%.
What happened with that Drake deal? I thought that selling Drake hospitals.
Yeah, that pays for it for a year.
Oh, okay. Well,
they sold a physical asset to pay something for a year. Duke Energy is headed back to court over accusations it paid kickbacks to win support for an electric rate increase that cost Ohioans millions of dollars. The case against Duke will return to federal court because the U.S. Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals in Cincinnati ruled Monday the claims are viable and should be heard by a jury. I tell you right now, that is huge.
Yeah.
You know who's happy? Stan Chesley.
Ah.
I'm pretty sure that's Stan Chesley and Randy Freaking's case.
Yeah, he's going to make a nice penny either way.
That's a good day. Duke's in trouble. What else do we have of local news of something that's interesting? More than 160 people at the Northern Kentucky facility of Astar USA found out Monday they will be losing their jobs. Astar and Air Cargo Charter Service was given a 90-day notice to shut down DHL operations. The economy's improving, TC. Things are getting better out there. I swear they are.
We just can't see it right now.
I mean, I'm telling you right now. How about the Reds? The Reds drafted 14th overall. And guess who they chose? Right-handed pitcher Nick Travisio from Archbishop McCarthy High School. 6'3", 205, has a mid-90s fastball. He's a right-hander, has a harsh swerving curveball, which is murder on right-handed hitters. I heard the interview last night. He says, I usually throw 93 to 95, but I've been as high as 99. Wow. Holy cow.
Not bad.
You know, add him to Chapman.
Yeah.
The Reds are going for some fireballers.
And that's great. They need that. I'm just going to reserve my enthusiasm until, like Homer Bailey. I was so excited when he first got here. I'm going to wait and see this guy's got to prove himself.
Does the name Chad Motula, or Motula, whatever the guy's name was, we drafted him number one. He didn't even. In the Inquirer Sunday, they showed some of the good ones, like Don Gullett was a good one. Yeah. Barry Larkin was a good one. They showed some of these guys that just. Don Larson, he was supposed to be our third baseman. I think it was Don.
Don Larson, that name sounds familiar.
Not the pitcher, but what was his name? But anyway, he was like Mr. LSU national champion.
Yeah.
Hey, didn't turn out. You never know till you hit the big leagues.
Right.
The Reds play the Pirates at 7:10 today. Go Reds. I already mentioned this once before. The Thunder went into San Antonio and behind Kevin Durant's 27 points took the lead in the Western Finals. I also already mentioned the Kings beat the Devils 4-0. NASCAR has suspended Kurt Busch for 1 week for reckless driving on pit row. Kurt Busch, man, he's a hellraiser. He's a bulldog on the racetrack.
How do you get reckless driving from a race car driver? I mean,
on pit row. Yeah. He should have just been more careful. He caused a post-race altercation with Ryan Newman's crew members.
Oh, okay. Well, he started a fight. That's what happened.
TC, this coming Saturday, I'll have another as a 4-5 favorite in New York. Odds makers Eric Donovan's tentative morning line to win the Belmont Stakes. It has been a long time. Long time. Nobody has won the Triple Crown in 34 years. Well, I'll have another. You know, everybody talked about I'll have another being like a drink. I'll have another. I always think of Animal House when that guy got spanked. I think it was Kevin Bacon. Yes, I'll have it. Thank you. I'll have another. Do you think he'll do it?
I don't know. It would be great if he did, though. It would be. What do you think?
I think he will.
We can put bets on whether or not we'll have a Triple Crown winner, whether or not he'll place, whether or not the horse will show, whether or not the horse will get in trouble for being doped up.
Yeah, his trainer's been accused of that.
Yeah.
Suspended in California. He said it's called a milkshake, TC. I don't know what's in it, but it's called a milkshake. Yeah. Why should giving a horse a milkshake, chocolate, strawberry, vanilla from your favorite restaurant, Grader's, UDL, why should that be?
And if this horse wins, don't you think you should give it a nice bath, rub it down with bath salt? Never mind.
Yeah.
Forget the bath salts.
Shouldn't it be given a milkshake?
Yeah, you deserve a milkshake on a hot day.
The NFL is going to start hiring and training possible replacement officials. Both sides say a collective bargaining deal is not completed. I'm going to tell you something, folks. The NFL referees are going to strike. Who cares? These high school refs, send them out there. Yeah. I mean, come on.
The replacement refs.
Who do the NFL refs think they are? We're going to have replacement refs.
Didn't they learn from the umpire strike? Nobody cares.
Nobody cares who the referees are. I can see the players making fun of the refs make a bad call, the replacement refs.
Yeah.
Man, you ain't nothing but a replacement ref.
Go back to high school.
I ain't gonna listen to your flag, man. That wasn't pass interference.
You know what they ought to do is let the fans.
Darn replacement ref.
Fans know the rules as well as the refs.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you to Heinz Field here at Pittsburgh between the game of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Bengals. We just need to know if any of you all can be a referee. Coming up, we're going to have some more fun here. This is the Bulldog, as I am every morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And we come back, we will deliver what we do every morning here, which is Radio Superbity on Real Talk 1160. This is the Bulldog, Eric Deters on Real Talk 1160. Happy Tuesday. Tuesday, you can break down the days of the week. Monday, everybody's coming back from the weekend. Everybody knows what Mondays. Everybody's in a bad mood. At least we're all in it together.
Right. And
then you have Wednesday, which they call it hump day. It's like, okay, you get through Wednesday. Thursday is one of my favorite days of the week because, Friday's next. And then, of course, Friday's Friday.
Yep.
And, of course, Saturday, Sunday. What's Tuesday, TC? Tuesday's like the lost day of the week.
You're right.
It has no purpose except it follows Monday.
It's the missing link.
Don't you agree with that? That each day has a special purpose except Tuesday.
There's nothing because it's not like you're any closer to the weekend really than you were yesterday.
No.
It's just Tuesday.
And you're not closer to the next weekend.
It's Tuesday.
It's just Tuesday.
The only thing Tuesday's good for is a Rolling Stone song.
Or a Leonard Skinner song. Tuesday's gone.
That's right. There's another Tuesday song.
That's right.
Moody Blues, maybe?
Yeah.
Tuesday's afternoon.
Maybe
we ought to do a feel-good montage.
A feel-good montage about Tuesday.
Make Tuesday special.
Hey, folks, I don't know if you caught this, but this is pretty interesting. The Americans accomplished a secret mission. There was a mysterious plane land, space plane they called it. The U.S. Air Force's unmanned space plane, the X-37B. Now think about that. Why is it called the X-37B as opposed to the X-39D? But anyway, the X-37B will land in June, ending a year-long mission in orbit. Launched, the space plane was accompanied by staff and biohazard suits, leading to speculation that there were radioactive components on board. What the heck was that plane doing? When was it doing it? And where was it doing it?
And when did it know what it was doing?
Darn right. A Dutch company says it will produce the biggest reality show on the planet, centered on a group of humans who colonize Mars. The firm claims that it will put 4 people on the red planet every 2 years, beginning April 2023, hosting 20 colonists by 2030. Folks, just think about all the reality shows you can think of.
Yep.
Mars. I want to go home. You can't go home. We don't have a spaceship to go home. You're stuck here. How about that? You get sent to Mars, and they say, we'll be back in a year to get you.
Wait, no. That's a long time.
Who would want to do this?
Not me. And what happens if can you get voted off the planet? Like
apparently.
Survivor?
Yes, some people say off the show. You get voted off the island. You get voted off Mars.
Then where do you go? Do you go back to Earth or you just go keep floating out there looking for the Hubble?
TC, I don't know about you, and I know that there's a lot of kids that, enjoy space. I have never, ever, ever had any desire to go to space.
I agree. Now, I would love to see what the Earth looks like from the moon, but I have no desire to get there.
Yeah.
You know,
and plus, we can see pictures and say, "Oh, that's how it looks for the moon."
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, it just scares the heck out of me. I have no desire to go up in space.
I mean, imagine. I mean, there's no safety net.
Zippo. The one thing that I would like to experience is zero gravity. Have you ever gone to one of those chambers that do that?
That would be fun.
I think that would be good. But other than that, that's all we got in science. Who cares about science, really? You know, it just makes the world go round. We need kids stay in school. If you're listening to this program, we need more science people, less lawyers. We got enough lawyers.
That's right. Yeah, don't flood the market. There was a story I heard or saw last week that there's another galaxy that will collide with our galaxy.
Right.
Hear that? So
right. In like a billion years.
Yeah, so we should be prepared.
How do you sit back and think to yourselves, a billion years from now, we better start worrying?
Yeah, they're making a prediction, but they're pretty safe. I can say in a billion years, here's what's going to happen. Who's going to be around to say, TC was wrong?
Right. TC, I don't know if you've ever suffered from this dreaded disease. I don't think so because I haven't seen you with an inhaler. I know I'm lucky I'm not because I've had some friends that have had asthma.
Oh,
and it's scary, man. When I've seen asthma attacks, I'm like, oh, my gosh, you know.
Had a very, very acute form of it, I guess, back when I was in college.
But, really?
Yeah, doctor said it was kind of mild, said it would kind of go away.
Was it scary? Like all of a sudden you can't breathe?
Well, it's like, for me, I had a mild case, but it was like someone sitting on your chest. It would be that hard to breathe. But
the percentage of Americans suffering from asthma reached a record high of 8.4% in 2010, up from 7.3%. My goodness, 8% of Americans have asthma?
Wow. Now, I was, like I said, I was lucky. I had a very mild case of it, but I know people that, for whatever reason, sports-induced physical activity will bring on an attack. So.
Walt Disney, the Disney company, has decided to restrict junk food ads on its programming.
Oh, well, isn't that special?
Are you kidding me? Now, what's considered junk food?
That's a good point.
Fruit Loops? All that sugar?
Right.
Disney, your audience likes sugar.
Well, you know what, though?
Eat grapes.
Now, yeah, there you go. Eat healthy. Eat bananas. Buy Chiquita.
True story. My little granddaughter, Riley, my wife, Mary, has her, like, addicted, and her mother, too, but fruit. Riley eats strawberries. Yesterday, she ate like a whole crate of blueberries, bananas.
Good for you.
I mean, this little, she's incredible. She loves fruit. She just stuffs that fruit in her mouth.
That's very good. Blueberries are good for the memory.
Do you know
brain food.
They're also good for muffins? we discussed the X-37B,
yes,
which is that mysterious plane. Well, the Navy did not want to be outdone by the Air Force's X-37B. So by 2014, they've got the DDG-1000 Zumwalt.
Whoa.
Gosh, man, wouldn't you love to own a DDG-1000 Zumwalt? It will feature a wave-piercing hull that leaves almost no wake. Electric drive propulsion, advanced sonar and missiles. It is longer and heavier than existing destroyers, but will have half the crew, automated systems, and appear to be a little more than a small fishing boat on enemy radar.
Really? That's kind of nice.
They say that they were designing this for China, so
really?
we can spy on them. That's what they say.
Well, we shouldn't tell China.
Do you believe the toys the military has?
No.
And in development? Good golly.
They don't deserve
like
all
James
this.
Bond.
Yeah. I mean, they deserve to have it, but they don't take very good care of it. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Too much military equipment ends up missing.
Too many $700 hammers to build that stuff.
There you go.
The CIA is preparing to cut its presence in Iraq to less than half of wartime levels, a move that is largely a result of challenges the CIA faces operating in a country that no longer welcomes us. Hey, geez, oh, Pete.
We're not welcome?
Congress and State Department rejected a request from the leader of Special Operations Command for new authority to train foreign security forces. Good for them. You know, why do we want to train these people? Then we got to fight them. Hey, we were trained by them. We know how to take on the SEALs because they trained us.
We're teaching them our secrets.
Makes no sense at all.
No.
Do you believe? Oh, now wait. What is this? That's crazy. George Zimmerman has returned to jail. He's returned to jail.
Yeah.
and he's receiving like $1,000 a day on his legal fund.
Is he really?
Sorry, George. Back in jail.
But
you shouldn't have tried to discuss. You don't lie, man. You don't lie to a judge.
And especially a high-profile case like
Yikes,
this.
what is he thinking?
Everybody's eyes are on you.
Let me tell you something, TC. I always say this. You can always get in trouble. You can always get in scraps and scrapes no matter who you are, But the one thing that I always think keeps you out of any hot soup, honesty, and let's face it, to commit a crime, a serious crime, you got to have intent to do that. So you can control that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody can screw up. But if you sit back and see who really gets in trouble, whose lives get destroyed, it's usually over something, dishonesty, the cover-up's worse than the crime.
Yeah.
And the other issue is intent. Like, you can't accidentally commit a felony.
Right. Whoops.
I
didn't mean to rob that
I didn't mean to rob that bank. I didn't mean to shoot that person. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know how I got that gun in my hand in that note.
And just lying, I mean, geez, Pete, you just don't lie.
Right.
Especially under oath.
Exactly.
On the website, this is called, if you care, gzlegalcase.com. gzlegalcase.com. Zimmerman lawyer Mark O'Mara says his client allowed his financial situation to be misstated to the court. But in all ways, he has been forthright and cooperative, except for that one lie.
That one. Just that one little itty bitty lie.
That judge is going to care about that one lie. We come back. We got something to talk about called cats and dogs. This is the Bulldog giving you radio superbity on Real Talk 1160. This is the Bulldog, Eric Deters on Real Talk 1160. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you've got dogs or cats or both. We have 3 dogs. Whiskey, Trace, who's a male neutered dog. He's calmed down a little bit since that happened. Whiskey, she's a female, but she's a pain in the butt, to be honest with you. We love Whiskey, but what an attitude she has. Like Miss Princess. Come on, Whiskey, you're a bulldog. And then Puppy, who's our sweetest dog. And then we had a stray cat that lived with the dogs in the garage all winter long, eating dog food all winter long. That's how hungry that cat was. We didn't buy cat food. You want to stay here in the garage? You eat the dog food with the dogs.
No, it's fine. Okay, I'll eat it. Meow, meow.
But
this is good stuff.
That cat has disappeared. We don't know what happened to the cat. We called it Cat. But
that's a good descriptive name.
There's a story out of New Jersey reported by CBS. Police and animal control officers are authorized to cite drivers with unrestrained animals in the car. Fined $250 to $1,000 per offense. So when you drive by that lady with Fluffy the Poodle's face hanging out the door, you need to call animal control and get a seatbelt on that dog, lady.
And I can't stick my head out the window and go.
Whiskey does that in my truck. Whiskey likes to stick her head out of the truck.
Dogs love that.
You have to restrain that animal or restrain. How do you put a restraint on a cat or a dog?
They go nuts.
Somebody in New Jersey is going to get rich now. Why? They're going to say, we have designed and perfected the dog belt, the cat belt. You know somebody's going to do it.
Maybe the people that made that baby car seat that fell off the roof of that car the other day.
Right.
Those people ought to make one. They're in like Flynn.
TC, you got to ask yourself this question, and any kind of law. Okay, what is the public policy? What is the purpose behind the law? For the life of me, I can't think of why? Because they're going to get hurt in a crash? I mean,
come on. I think dogs learn pretty quickly that once you hit the brakes a few times, that dog better not be standing up in the back
You're
seat.
Right.
You know?
TC, you don't want to make Adalmus de Armas mad. This woman faces charges of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and resisting an officer. The Tampa Bay Times reports she doused her husband, poor guy, with nail polish remover and set his arm and shorts on fire.
Really? No.
Did you know nail polish was flammable?
No, but I know it now. Now, what could he have possibly
do?
Let's see. Could
put his feet on the coffee table. He put his feet on the coffee table.
Yeah. No.
To do this, he was talking to Mrs. Fox, the neighbor.
That's it. Yes. Honey, we were just talking. That's all. Yeah.
You got to do something pretty bad for your wife to want to light you up with nail polish.
Yeah, really. I smell an affair.
Yep.
You know.
He cheated on her.
Probably her best friend, too.
Scorned woman, man.
Yeah. Set him on fire.
2 women are asking the Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant to spare their brother from execution on Tuesday, even though he stabbed one of them, killed 4 of their children, and paralyzed another. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, this is what the death penalty's for.
Yeah. I mean,
those ladies must be like super Christians.
Mercy and forgiveness.
Jeez,
can only go so far with me.
Oh my goodness. Let me see. What else do we have here? Well, let's get right into the main political story of the day. The main political story of the day is a close vote is expected in today's election in Wisconsin. Republican Governor Walker, with the party turnout seen as a deciding factor. Latest polls show him up about 7%. Walker was elected, of course, and then right after he was elected, apparently this wasn't an issue during the campaign. This is something the Democrats point out, is that his balancing the budget, quote unquote, on the back of the public sector unions was not part of the equation. And, of course, he got in there and working with the Republican legislators, passed laws, and it was also held up by the Republican-controlled Supreme Court. If you remember, some of these Supreme Court justices almost got in a fight. 2 of them almost got in a fight. But what they did is they passed a law which curtailed how much money the public sector unions were getting for their pension, and they just made cuts. It's my understanding from the Wisconsin law that they excluded from these cuts police and fire. So the police and firemen were not part of this. So the biggest sector of the workforce, the public sector work that took the quote-unquote hit, were the teachers' unions. And, of course, we saw those strikes and the teachers bringing their kids down to the Capitol and singing songs.
And the Democrats skipping town.
Democrats skipping town, not wanting to come back. You remember all this stuff, right? And the national money that is poured in there, Scott Walker has outspent Barrett. I think his first name is Tom Barrett, and we're still trying to find out if he is a long-lost member of the Cincinnati Barrett family. But anyway, Barrett, the mayor of Milwaukee, is running against him, and Walker has spent 7 times the amount of money as Barrett. The out-of-state money has poured in. Bill Clinton spoke in downtown Milwaukee last week. It's been incredible. It's like a national battleground, much as, just like, and this is the new thing, Tom Massey winning the 4th Congressional District. His opponents were mad because a PAC from Texas poured in $1 million for the guy almost. But this is the new way. This is a national battleground now in every state. Those super PACs come in and look out. And by the way, nobody's won Wisconsin for the Republicans since Reagan in '84. So if Walker wins this thing at all, but much less 5, 6, 7 points, Obama, in my opinion, he's a risk of losing Wisconsin. That bodes well for the Republicans.
It's kind of interesting, and you know more about this than I do. They're not doing this for the state of Wisconsin, are they? This is for the party,
right?
This is a fight because I guess they figure if this works here, we can do it across the country.
Exactly, and that's what they're arguing. They're saying, hey, if Governor Walker gets recalled here, then we're going to have the public sector unions are going to be controlling every state. And of course, we had that in Ohio with Kasich. Yeah. Kasich had that row, and of course, the law got voted out.
Right.
With the recall. But this is going to be interesting. Walker is expected to win. And I tend to think Walker's a good guy. He balanced the budget. He went in there, made tough decisions. It amazes me how everybody wants the politicians to make those tough decisions. And then when they make those tough decisions, everybody gets mad. They interviewed some Wisconsin folks, and some of them, they had that accent, that Wisconsin accent, and they're kind of like, I'm looking forward to them all just leaving so Wisconsin can get back to being friendly again. The state's ripped apart, man. Neighbor against neighbor. Cat versus dog. Different kinds of cheese are fighting. Different kinds of beer are fighting.
Yeah, the
Caterpillar and Alice Chalmers are fighting.
The beer industry and the dairy industry are
fighting. The cows are mad.
I thought, the happy cows were in California.
Gee, what else comes out of Wisconsin?
Let's see.
Cheese. By the way, I can tell you this, folks. Snappy Tomato Pizza, we get our cheese from Wisconsin.
There you go.
Truckloads of it every day, baby.
Happy cheese.
Can you imagine how much cheese a pizza company goes through? They told me at a meeting once, and I couldn't believe it. It's incredible. Snappy Tomato Pizza. There's a lot of cheese on all that pizza.
That's good pizza, though.
A lot of cheese. You think Skyline, Gold Star, all that cheese on those?
Yeah, Cincinnati's a cheese-loving city.
Cheese is a commodity. If you've got some extra money around, you should invest in cheese.
That's right.
Cheese futures. Put all your money in cheese futures.
We'll call it Cheese Book.
I'm cracking myself up.
Cheese Book, IPO next week.
There you go. When we come back, we'll move away from Wisconsin, and we'll go back to New York.
Put down the cheese and step away from Wisconsin.
Governor Andrew Cuomo, he's always stirring up something. But you know what? For a Democrat, he does an okay job, I think, in New York, but I don't agree too much with his social stuff. Not his social stuff. This is the Bulldog giving radio superbity on Real Talk 1160. This is the Bulldog, Eric Deters on Real Talk 1160. A group closely allied, not just allied, closely allied, with Governor Andrew Cuomo in New York received $2 million from gambling interests last December as he developed a proposal to expand casino gambling in New York. How do you like that? You know what? Just always follow the money, folks. Gambling. Gambling is going to be coming to Cincinnati, and I'll be very candid with you. I have mixed feelings about gambling. There's a part of me that says creates jobs, it creates fun, entertainment dollar, all those things that all the proponents for gambling say. But there's another part of me that knows what it does to folks. But you know what? I'm a liberty guy. Hey, you don't have to go gamble. You do not have to go gamble. But I guess from a preference standpoint, I would prefer different jobs than gambling jobs. But in tough economy, you can't be picky, can you? You can't be picky. The New York Police Department, the mayor, and the city's top prosecutors in New York on Monday endorsed a proposal to decriminalize the open possession of small amounts of marijuana. You know what the problem is? They're tired of arresting people with a little bit of pot on them. They've had enough of it. Back to Wisconsin. The Justice Department's going to be monitoring polling activities in Milwaukee during the recall election. Folks, there's a lot at stake here, and there's already been some scuttlebutt and some rumors coming out about, some issues with the ballots. It scares the heck out of me. And those people that act like the computer ballot is better than the paper ballot, I'm sorry, folks, I don't believe it. I think there can be more funny business when you have these big companies who own and control these machines and how they count them. I mean, I have a hard time believing, for example, you couldn't program a computer to say, for every one vote to that person or two votes to that person, you throw another vote the other way, so forth and so on. And don't think for a minute, when there's a lot at stake, somebody's willing to do something like that. Rocker John Bon Jovi got a lift Monday to New York on Air Force One with President Obama. He's going to be headlining a campaign event at the Waldorf Astoria, where he will perform for 500 supporters. What do you think about that, folks? I like John Bon Jovi, but you got him riding on Air Force One to go do a fundraiser with the president. I mean, I can't recall. Now, I've been paying attention since I was 19. I'm 49, so 30 years. In the last 30 years, I can't remember a president that just seems to take advantage of all of the trappings of office like Obama and Michelle do. Come on, John, let's fly up there for this fundraiser. The Hispanic unemployment rate jumped from 10.3% in April to 11% in May. The disappointing job numbers come as Hispanic voters who voted by 67% to 31% for Obama in 2008 are showing signs of diminished enthusiasm about the November election. And, of course, Rubio might be the vice presidential nominee of the Republican Party, which David Axelrod thinks would be insulting to the Hispanic community. Think about this. If Obama won the vote, Hispanic vote, 67-31, what do you think that number would be with Rubio on the ticket, particularly in Florida? Among voters with household income of $36,000 to $90,000, Romney leads Obama 49% to 45%. See, middle-class America's not stupid. Middle-class America gets it. Guess what, folks? Among lower-income voters, those under $36,000, Obama leads by a 15-point margin, 53% to 38%. Chris Matthews, you got to always pay attention to Chris Matthews just for the entertainment value. He says the Republicans have got a spring in their step. He says if unemployment hits 8.5%, they're probably going to win. Duh.
You think?
Do you think?
I have a spring in my step, too.
Yeah.
Democrats are fighting in the cabinet, fighting in the White House over there. They got all kinds of problems. Yeah, I have a little spring in my step.
Don't go out on a limb there. Chris. Bill Clinton says, this is not the 1950s. At least Joe McCarthy could skate on the promise that there were still one or two living communists walking around. Nobody's seen a communist in over a decade. That's Bill Clinton making fun of Allen West's communist comments. TC, with all due respect to Mr. Clinton, who I love dearly, there's got to be more than no communists.
They're hiding.
There has to be more than no communists.
They're in hiding, yeah.
And by the way, I think, let's face it, it's kind of like what's in vogue now. It used to be communists, look for the communists. Now it's look for the radical Islamic extremist. The radical Islamic extremist has replaced the communist.
I know, there's always a villain.
You can hear these communists say, can't believe we have been replaced by that radical Islamic extremist.
We've got to do something about this.
What do they know about taking over countries and espionage?
Well, I guess apparently taking over countries isn't working out too well, Mr. Mubarak. Getting the government overthrown.
And now listen, Clinton, because he, of course, said that Mitt Romney had a stellar business record, warned Monday that a Mitt Romney presidency, get this, would be calamitous. Let's use that word in a sentence. Mitt Romney's election would be calamitous to the country. That's what Bill Clinton says.
And what did Laverne and
for
Shirley
the nation and
that?
the world. Yeah, it violates the Laverne and Shirley rule big time.
Say uproar, Mr. Clinton. Use the word uproar.
How about this? Mitt Romney's presidency would be bad for the
Ooh, there we can handle that one.
Can Laverne and Shirley handle bad?
Triple letter.
I love that theme song to Laverne and Shirley.
That ought to be
that was
our
a good theme song.
Today.
It ought to be for Wisconsin.
Why not? Let's look for that.
Laverne and Shirley. That's a great theme song for today. Some religious leaders and scholars who backed Obama in 2008 are skeptical. You think? They say the Democrats have, through neglect and lack of focus, squandered the substantial gains they have made with religious moderates. That coming out of the Columbus Dispatch, so you know it's got to be true. Senator Rand Paul and House colleague are urging the Obama administration to withhold American military aid to Pakistan until that country releases a doctor. You know, the doctor that helped us get bin Laden, who, Obama's taking all this credit for. And then he goes and lets the doctor be arrested. Poor doctor. And he's facing like 30-some years. I mean, some incredible amount of time. Senator Rob Portman has returned from a 6-day trip to the Middle East where he had a run-in with a gunner from a chopper that dropped him off at the air base. He had been shot later that day. Not Portman, that gunner. Portman said he's concerned that the deadlines for removing U.S. troops from Afghanistan, not conditions in the ground, are influenced decisions there. Well, guess what, Senator Portman? With all due respect to you, we got to get him out. Got to get him out. How much time we got on this segment, TC? I always got to pay attention.
No, we still got a few more minutes. Let's see here. I'm looking for Laverne and Shirley. I'll tell you in a second.
You want to go with Laverne?
You want to?
Let's go with Laverne. If we got time here, this is the theme song for today for all those Wisconsin. The feel-good song for Wisconsin today. We send you our love from the Buckeye State.
We're gonna do it.
This is a great feel-good song.
Yeah, it is. This is your song. Greatest any rule will break it.
That's right.
But not in Kentucky.
Not anymore. I'm done with that. I'm done.
Straight ahead and on the track now.
That's right. I had a crush on Cindy Williams.
Everybody did.
Yep. Not so much her roommate. How about those guys? Yeah, who are those guys' names? Their boyfriends?
Lenny and Squiggy.
Oh, Lenny and Squiggy. Oh my gosh.
And one guy, the short guy, he was the announcer in the League of Their Own, which Penny Marshall, a.k.a. Laverne, was the director.
Yeah, Penny Marshall, baby. Of course, her father had a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Laverne and Shirley. What a classic. You know what, TC?
What's that?
Everybody talks like Modern Family and all this stuff. They don't make sitcoms like they used to do. In the 70s and early 80s, that's sitcom heaven, man.
They were great. I mean,
Look what just pops up there on that screen.
Oh, wow. Look at
Hawaii Five-0, Happy Days, The Love Boat, Archie Bunker.
that. Here's what we're going to do. Tell me what you think about this idea. We'll discuss this while the listeners are doing whatever. But what if we do like a theme song once a week? A feel-good theme song. From
That's a
TV show.
great idea. That's a great idea. I mean, and everybody likes Happy Days.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
All right, that's a great idea, TC. When we come back, we'll deliver some more radio superbity. If you know somebody in Wisconsin, wish them the best. Send them your love. Hope they keep Governor Walker. And may the cheese stay fresh. This is the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. Eric Deters, the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. I hope you're enjoying your Tuesday. If you missed it earlier, we thoroughly analyzed Tuesday to basically decide that Tuesday serves no purpose. You know, each week, each day of the week has a purpose. Monday's that day. We all got to go back to work. Wednesday's hump day. Thursday, it's almost Friday. Friday's Friday. Saturday and Sunday are Saturday and Sunday. Tuesday is the forgotten, boring day of all time.
I think I know why.
Why's that?
Because there's nothing special about Tuesday. You have nothing else to do but work. That's the day everything gets done. You watch today. Contracts will be signed. Deals will be closed. Things will get done today.
You know, folks, I've got to share this history. I just referred to my newsletter, but this history is too good not to share. You know, during the Civil War, before the Civil War, there was this Ohio doctor, and he basically was shocked at the number of young men that were dying in the war. And he said, it occurred to him, this is his quote, it occurred to me that if I could invent a machine, a gun which could, by its rapidity of fire, enable one man to do as much battle duty as 100, that it would supersede the necessity of large armies, and consequently, excuse me, the exposure to battle and disease would be greatly diminished. In other words, he hoped that by inventing a better gun, he could save lives. Sounds like the atom bomb. How about Alfred Nobel, the Nobel Peace Prize? He invented dynamite. He tried 6 gun barrels around a revolving shaft and built a device to fire and reload them automatically. His machine could spit out 350 bullets per minute. You know, one of the neatest, although saddest, this gun being demonstrated was in outlaw Josie Wales, where they used it to gun down those prisoners. More than 100 times a rifle could shoot. By the late 1862, his weapon was ready for action. His gun finally saw battle late in the war and proved devastating when Union soldiers turned it upon the enemy. After the war, the U.S. Army ordered 100 of Dr. Richard Gatling's new guns, and soon armies around the world were buying them. Machine guns have gone on to become the most efficient means of killing. The thought they might save lives.
Okay.
Gosh, that's weird logic.
It is very weird logic. And then Gatling went on to form that famous singing group, the country group, didn't he?
Yeah, the Gatling brothers.
Yeah, yeah.
And all the gold. They hid their gold in California, while mine is in Grand County. In 1874, Gatling came out with a compact camel gun, spelled like the animal, designed to be mounted on a small tripod or a camel saddle. But the name was more of a marketing ploy than a practical application. Isn't that nice to know? Crazy. All right, we got some humor for you, folks.
All right, here we go.
Are you ready for some humor? And I'm going to tell this PG style. On their wedding night, the new bride looked over to her husband and said, "Honey, you know I've never done this before, and I don't know anything about it. Can you explain it to me first? Okay, sweetheart, putting it simply, we will call yours the prison, and we will call mine the prisoner. So what we do is the prisoner is placed in the prison. When they were done, the guy was lying face up in the bed, smiling with satisfaction. Nudging him, the bride giggled, said, honey, the prisoner's escaped. He smiled and said, well, then we'll re-imprison him. Second time, the guy reached for a cigarette, and the girl said, honey, the prisoner is out again. Afterwards, he was exhausted. She goes, honey, the prisoner escaped again. Exhausted, he finally yelled back at her, honey, it's not a life sentence, okay?
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that
Sounds
weren't
like a
very
pretty
good.
It
small
could have been a lot
inmate.
better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away.
Hey, boo!
Boo!
I think they liked it.
I think they did, too.
Pretty large prison, though, don't you?
Yeah, prisoners. The metaphors that people could come up with.
I know.
Over a dozen of the 100 of companies seeking to the Jobs Act's looser rules for going public are shell companies with almost no employees and not the high-tech growth companies lawmakers had in mind. You know, it is amazing to me how some of these people, they come up with an idea. They don't do anything. They just come up with an idea. And then they try to sell investors to invest in this idea, which may or may not ever happen, take it public, take people's money and say, well, if it makes it or not, we don't care because we now got our money.
We got ours.
April factory orders fell 0.6%. Second consecutive decline. Uh-oh. Facebook will lose dominance as a major web company in less than a decade. A founder of Ironfire Capital said Monday. Oh, yeah, Facebook said, we'll see. The Seattle-based coffee chain Starbucks announced plans Monday to buy San Francisco-based Bay Bread and its La Boulange bakery brand for $100 million. Apple is planning to oust Google Maps as the preloaded default Maps app. Sorry, Google Maps, get out of here. We want new maps. You know why? Because Apple does. They're going to have their own technology. You know what? It's the constant war to become big, better, and best is incredible. I mean, you can have the hot thing today, next you're not.
Yeah. We've got the G network. We've got the 2G network. We've got the 3G network.
Exactly.
We've got 1 billion Gs.
Microsoft 9, we're going to raise you one. Microsoft 10. I'm still on 1.
We're going to raise you to 11. Crank it up.
And as we all know, and that's something about Mary's scene where that 8-minute abs, he goes, we're going to do 7-minute abs. Ben Stiller goes, well, what if somebody comes along with 6-minute abs? No, it's just 7-minute abs.
7 minutes, dude. Get it right.
And that is true when you think about it.
Yeah.
Personal computer makers Acer and Asus Tech Computer said they expect to launch consumer products based on Windows 8 in October. See, more technology. 65% of companies with big first quarter earnings cite operational or strategic missteps and their main cause for missing their marks. Operational strategic missteps.
I
you know
think
what?
Try to cut corners too much. That's what it is.
Can you imagine like you run a big company and all those perks, but if you mess up, you're just gone.
That's it.
And you know, you make this decision like, let's launch this product, and that product sucks. You're done, man.
Your history. Your toast.
You know, like Disney. Let's do John Carter. Let's spend $200 million on this thing and call it John Carter.
There goes your pension.
As opposed to say, hey, let's unite Iron Man, Thor, Hulk,
Exactly.
And let's make an Avengers movie.
And make something we know.
And make one. The first movie, I predict this. The first movie to make $1 trillion will be Avengers when it's finally done.
Whoa.
They're $1.5 billion now.
What do you say we pass a law that any movie making over $1 trillion has to donate that money to the national debt?
There you go. Take that debt.
They'll love that in Hollywood.
An effort to cut 1,700 jobs for Verizon Communications said on Monday it offered voluntary buyouts to employees across 12 states. You know, I kind of said, hey, man, take this buyout or we're going to fire you. Well, I thank you for this great choice.
Yeah, really. I'll take the money.
Transit authorities across the country are boosting fares and cutting routes, pinching commuters and employers. Local governments are doing this cutting. Say there's no painless solution. Let's hope our good buddy Sensible Don and Metro isn't going to cut Don. Texas is facing an electricity shortage. Now, how do you like that? Texas, Rick Perry's bragging about all the jobs they create and everything else. Come to Texas and start your factory. We might be a little short on electricity. You might have to have a battery-operated generator to back you up. But other than that, we're cherry. Natural gas industry worked in vain and it concerns their greenhouse gas release during drilling endangers the environment. That fracking thing, that's going to go on and on and on and on. They're just going to have to figure out a way to control it because we need the energy, so let's do both. Let's protect the environment and get the energy too. Is that too much to ask? Nah. I don't think so. When we come back, we'll continue giving you all the news and all the stories locally and from around the world that you need to know because right here on Real Talk 1160, we deliver every single day radio superbity. The Bulldog, Eric Deters on Real Talk 1160. I cannot get enough of watching that jackwagon from the GSA sitting in that bathtub with the scenic view of the window in Las Vegas where he went out there on that convention. I mean, I look at that and I said, that is the epitome of yuck, yuck, yuck when it comes to violation of the public trust.
And GSA, until a few weeks ago, I never heard of the GSA.
General Survey, right.
How many different government agencies are there that we're just unaware of?
Right. And that's the agency that's supposed to be our watchdog, TC.
Right, yeah. I guess it's a good thing for the green water people because if they were doing their job, then we might not have a job.
The one thing about an investigation is you get going. We don't want them to look at the books of the Green Water Company, do we?
Not the books that we keep under the
right.
No, not those books.
Yeah, we don't want those books. We'll show you the books on top the desk.
Yes,
top of the desk.
Right,
those books.
They can look at those. The books with the dust on them. They can look at those books, the ones that haven't been touched in a while.
Absolutely. Walmart shareholders show discontent. With management amid allegations of a bribery scandal, with more than 15% of those voting against re-electing the retailer's former CEO to the board. Well, it depends on, who did he bribe, why did he bribe them, and what did he bribe them for?
Yeah. You're trying to get out of that. What's in it for you,
I was trying to help the company, man.
I was doing it for the city.
Yeah. Walmart. Walmart is one of those companies that you love them or you hate them.
Yeah.
Microsoft showed off its coming smart glass technology. A lot of tech stuff for you today. That will allow a tablet or smartphone act as a controller for its Xbox 360 and stream media to a big screen television. I'm telling you, one day, TC, we're going to carry something. iPhone's pretty close to this already. We're going to carry something that, it does everything. You wash your clothes with your phone.
Exactly.
I mean, you drive your car. You actually don't even need a car anymore. You just press this button and it transports you at the speed you want.
Like George Jetson.
Yeah.
You hit the button and it turns.
I'm serious. One day we're going to carry something that we can do everything. Cook your dinner.
And they've got to make it waterproof for guys that might drop it in the sink.
Absolutely. By the way, Riley dropped my wife's phone yesterday and cracked the screen on the glass.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
She in trouble?
No, not Riley. Riley gets to do about anything she wants.
Spoiled. Yeah, go ahead, spoiler, your grandparents.
For all you U.S. vets, you might be interested in this. Top U.S. and Vietnamese defense officials exchanged letters and diaries of fallen soldiers taken during the Vietnam War, the highest level exchange of artifacts since normalizing relations 17 years ago. You got to like that. I mean, come on. If we took, Vietnamese diaries and things found on Vietnamese soldiers, what good is that to us? And same thing with things that they found on our soldiers. I mean, that would be pretty. Can you imagine what some of the families might get? Like a diary of their dad or something, of all the things that he...
That would be kind of amazing.
Yeah, it is.
It would be a slice of your history, slice of your past.
TC, do you ever shop at IKEA?
No, I have not.
You and I are like the exception because everybody else in the world goes to IKEA.
I don't get it. When IKEA first opened up, I thought it was a car.
Me too. I went once with my wife, and it was a neat store, but it's just not my kind of furniture.
Yeah.
I like the traditional big old fluffy couch stuff.
Yeah.
The Swedish retailer's tongue-twisting Scandinavian product names can sometimes have racy meanings in other languages. In Thailand, some local linguists are toning down the translations. They didn't give me any specifics, folks, okay?
Where do we go with that one?
Like, how about, that's just incredible. Some of the funny stuff there. German leaders, and remember that Germany are those people that, according to the Greeks, just work too hard. They're just working too hard. Have not provided details of a potential deal, but it would likely mean an expansion of executive power in Brussels over fiscal targets in member Euro states. And by the way, Greek, they're late on their payments. I don't know if you all know that, but Greece is late on their payments. When are we going to repossess Greece? Go there and say, I'm here on behalf of the United States of America, and we're here to repossess Athens. Everything in it, everyone in it, we're here to take it.
We're taking your culture, we're taking your history, we're going to call it ours.
The Acropolis is ours now.
That's right. We're going to serve chili.
You no longer control your history. Herodotus, us. Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, us.
I like that idea. We're going to have a new Mount Rushmore.
Greece has been repossessed.
Greece is the word.
Let me see. German police arrested a 29-year-old Canadian man accused of murdering and dismembering a Chinese student, then mailing the severed limbs to the offices of two Canadians. That guy's messed up.
Is that guy like a porn star or something in Canada or somewhere?
Why do you got to chop up the limbs? They do that on The Sopranos all the time. They get the old chainsaw out. This body's laying there in the old bathtub.
I think that they do it on The Sopranos because it's easier to get into the meat grinder.
I know, man.
But this guy's just weird.
Yeah, I hate to say this, but I'm never going to commit a murder, and I promise you that I get sick to my stomach. But if I ever killed somebody, from watching The Sopranos, I know how to clean up the body. See, they take the body, they wash everything, they put the body in the bathtub.
Plenty of bleach.
But then they put acid sometimes in there. They just pour acid, let the bleach. They put it in. Then sometimes they put it in a bag and they take it and they bury it somewhere, or they put concrete blocks. You learn how to get rid of a body watching The Sopranos.
And you've got to own a waste disposal company.
Waste disposal company.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
How do you like that, folks? Waste disposal company. Apparently that is, isn't it weird how like certain industries, like apparently like in New Jersey and New York, it's kind of like accepted, man. They got some, there's some issues there.
You don't question certain things.
You pay a little bit more for a few more services. By the way, our septic tank got fixed, pumped out, and fixed. And this guy came last night. This is a funny story. He'd come to the house. And I didn't know who he was. He thought I knew who he was. We talked to my wife. He had pumped up the septic tank earlier. And he sold us. He acted like, for $150, I will make you a concrete top. And because our metal top had rusted through, and we didn't want anybody to fall on this thing and get hurt. And so he made $150, and my wife says, well, why can't we just make the concrete top? Well, mine have steel in them. Well, we couldn't put steel in ours. So, and I said, and it's amazing. He pumps by the way, they did a great job. In fact, this guy is the guy that found the problem. But anyway, he pumps out this thing, and he puts in the thing. But he comes to the door to be paid, and I give him his check. And one of the funny things was, TC, he wanted to show me what he did, and I'm like, I don't really care.
As long as it's fixed.
You could explain it to me all night long. I'm not going to understand it, But it was kind of funny. I'm like, man, I don't know. And I went down, by the way, last night during the hockey game and ran on my treadmill. All the carpet's up, the basement's dry. Now we got to just wait for our carpet. But it had that rustic feel to it, TC. You're working out and ain't no carpet on the ground, Yeah. You're working out. It's like, this is a man's gym now. Fancy carpet down here.
Nothing but the smell of mold, mildew, and sweat.
But I have to give Oracle status to Dave and Bert.
Game 5.
Dave and Bert from Surf Pro. I'm telling you right now, these guys work their tail off. Getting that carpet up, good guys.
Yeah, all right. Give it up to them. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Dave and Bert, you get Oracle status.
You've
been awarded Oracle status.
And we have to give Neve Sanitation Oracle status too,
Okay.
because this guy solved the problem. And you know what it was, TC?
You've been awarded Oracle status.
Toilet paper that got caught on a turn in a pipe or something.
Really?
Yeah, darn toilet paper. We need to create, somebody needs to manufacture better disposable toilet paper.
You're right.
By the way, speaking of toilet paper, you know what buildings are under budget cuts when you go to a public bathroom and their toilet paper is really like paper. And it's painful. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. It's like the lowest budget toilet. Give me something soft, folks. I mean, it can be brutal.
It's not your quilted northern, is it?
Woo. Quilted northern double-layered feel-good toilet paper.
They're going to have a Preparation H dispenser right next to the...
Sometimes. Jeez, oh, Pete. If you need to get a hold of me, you can email me at eric@ericdeters.com or text me at 859-250-2527. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Bull Law. I write for the Highland County Press, the Journal News. Check out Real Talk 1160's website and our Facebook page as well. And when we come back, we will wrap up this Radio Superbity show on this wonderful Tuesday in the Tri-State. Enjoy your day, and we come back. We will close it out. The final segment.
Tuesday, the only day you really have to work.
On Real Talk 1160 here in Cincinnati, where you get your Radio Superbity. Eric Deters, the Bulldog, on Real Talk 1160. We're having a good time here.
We're working hard today.
Right.
Tuesday's now the workhorse day.
By the way, what was that number you gave me before just a second ago?
I think that was 920.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, folks, you're going to love this story. This is a local story. You know, we like to give you the local stories, too. Anthony Cornest, he was a Mount Healthy senior. He is a Mount Healthy senior. Received a letter from the principal, Marlon Stiles Jr. Boy, he sounds like he's probably pretty angry. Marlon Stiles Jr. sent Anthony Cornest a letter. Quote, I will be holding your diploma in the main office due to the excessive cheering your guest displayed during the roll call. The school demands 20 hours of community service before he can graduate. Now, folks, listen to this. Let me tell you something. I've attended 6 high school graduations for my kids and my wife's kids. And these are public high school graduations. They were nice ceremonies. The kids' speeches were good. And you know what? We all know this. If you go to a public high school graduation, there are some kids, friends, family, whatever, a little crazier than others. And they hoop and holler. And you know what? First time I went to one, I thought to myself, man, come on, man, chill out. And then I changed my mind. I thought to myself, who cares?
Right.
I mean, who cares? And you don't know the context behind it. Like, maybe it's somebody that barely graduated.
We didn't think he was going to make it.
And they're happy, as long as they don't shout vulgarities,
right?
Let them cheer.
Why not? Why not?
Holding a diploma up and what I'd be, if I was Anthony, is what I'd do if I was Anthony. I'd say, I'm not your student anymore.
Give me my diploma.
Give me my diploma.
The Bulldog to sue you.
You know what I tell you right now, Anthony Cornest will probably get a lawyer.
Yeah.
Can't be me for now, but I'm telling you right now, that is incredible.
I think you think he has a case.
Yes, absolutely.
How do you punish this kid? He's got a cheering section.
Absolutely.
He's popular, family from out of town.
If he submitted all the credit and everything else, hold that diploma, BS.
Yeah.
I do think Anthony ought to get a lawyer.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
That's incredible. You're going to punish this kid because of somebody in the stand after all the parents sat through all the other he's probably towards the front of the line, but you got to sit through the whole thing. You can't just get up after your kid gets a diploma. I'm done.
That's right.
See ya.
That's right.
See that one happen. See what plays out with that one. We'll follow that one closely.
Yep. I mean, I don't get that. Why would you do that?
Just to ruin somebody because you're a principal and you want to like the guy from Ferris Bueller,
Oh, is he not the best movie principal of all time? That what's that guy's name?
Ed Rooney.
Ed Rooney. And how about his secretary?
Oh, see, what was her name? Oh, she was hilarious.
Everybody likes him. The dudes, the potheads, the cool dudes, the nerds.
Every ranking of high school sociality.
She described every group perfectly.
They think he's a radical dude.
The jocks. and his buddy called Mr. Rooney. Rooney was just obsessed with getting him. Got to get this guy. How dare this guy? Instead of just saying, you know what, if he's getting, who cares?
Had that Ken Starr attitude about it, didn't he?
And how about his pencil sharp? Sharpen that pencil. Yeah. That mustache. That guy. And he goes to the house. Remember, we went to the house. His daughter kicks his butt.
That was hilarious.
Oh, we should have found some clips of all that.
We have
Matthew Broderick.
All the themes we're gonna have to do: TV show themes. We're gonna do movie themes for feel-good songs.
They're the classics, man.
I know.
That whole concept of talking your buddy and taking your dad's car, your buddy's dad's car, Ferrari. How about that scene with that guy? The guy where they this is one of my favorite scenes. The guy's supposed to park the car. And he's going, smiling. They're going airborne in that thing, you know.
That's the best part. That right there, it's like, I got to have that job. I want that guy's job.
You know, Ferris Bueller is the same thing as the superhero movies. We go and watch the superhero movies, and we sit there and fantasize, man, if I had special powers.
Yeah.
Every high school kid goes watch Ferris Bueller. You're like, man, if I had his kahunas.
Right. That's exactly what
I had his kahunas. I mean, he had it down to a science, didn't he? Like the recordings. Right. I'm sorry. I'm really sick today.
Perfect. It was the whole thing. We had the door rigged. So
door rigged so people come.
Everything. Classic.
Let's get it up to him. And then twist and shout. You know, there you go. There's another feel-good song for you.
Yeah.
We could do Ferris Bueller's version instead of the Beatles version.
There we go. Ferris, on top of it. Now, this is the thing. This guy was awfully brave, okay? Big old parade. I'm sure that there were a couple of news cameras there. Didn't anybody say, it looks like Ferris Bueller? I thought he was sick. thought he was on his deathbed.
TC, and yet, in light of yesterday's announcement that Mayor Mallory has called for a 1,000-boat flotilla to go down the Ohio River to honor him during the choir games. He wants to show himself off. Yes. By the way, can you imagine this happening? There he is. All these 1,000 boats. I wonder if anybody called the mayor's office. We called if you have a boat, call the mayor's office. Wouldn't it be funny that at least one person called the mayor's office and say, hey, my name is Jim Benson, man. I own a cruiser. How can I get signed up for this flotilla?
We got a boat you can use. It's called the SS Minnow. Got a little hole in it, but.
What do you think the odds are they would tell us if that happened? I'd say no.
Nah, we'll never find out.
I don't think they would either. The quote of the day is John Langhorne. Justice, that in the rigid paths of law would still some drops of pity's fountain draw. That sounds like Shakespeare. Remember the great Merchant of Venice, where Portia tried to explain to Shylock, about mercy?
Yes.
He didn't get it until it was time for him to receive his mercy. Oh.
Yeah, all of a sudden that mercy thing makes a lot of sense now. I
didn't realize that when you say pound of flesh, that they take it literally. There's got to be an exact pound.
From whom?
Imagine giving a pound of your flesh.
No, that guy in
Florida. I
wouldn't
give a pound of my flesh. I'm telling you right now, I'm not.
I think that guy in Florida ate a pound of flesh.
Absolutely.
On the bath salts.
Oh, bath salts are bad.
Stay away from bath salts.
TC,
yes.
I'm looking forward till tomorrow. Today, of course, we have figured out as Tuesday is a day that nothing really happens on Tuesday.
Because everybody's working.
That's right. Let's hope the Reds figure out a way to beat the Pirates, because we haven't been beating the Pirates very much lately.
Yeah.
Let me see. In sports tonight, also basketball, we will have the Heat versus the Celtics tied up 2-2. And Chris Bosh has been practicing with the Heat, and he might play. And I'm sure coming up, remember, following me is Laura Ingraham. And then following Laura Ingraham is Michael Savage. And then we have Huckabee. And then we have Wildman Walker and Rick the Brick. Real sports.
Got a Florence Freedom game later on this
Florence Freedom, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Real Talk sports guys will break down the Reds baseball draft.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing how different teams do the drafts. Okay? Baseball, they have a pretty extended draft. You can go in a late round. And then you have drafts like the NFL, which is 7 rounds. NBA's only 2. Interesting. Any final words from you, TC?
This portion of Bulldog Nation is brought to you by Great Taste and Slimy Living Green Water. Remember when you promised us hope and change? We're still waiting. Green water available at Queen Can.
Thank you, other guy on a microphone. I think other guy on a microphone has a national stage future.
Yeah, let's hope so.
All right, folks. I've loved it. As always, I will be back tomorrow when I will deliver radio superbity. Remember, every dog has their day. I hope tomorrow is yours. I hope today is yours. I also hope today's mine. And we will be back tomorrow on Wednesday, a day that really counts.
Now, I noticed you didn't mention any weight loss today, so hopefully tomorrow you'll have something for us.
I've lost 1 more pound.
All right.
On Real Talk, 1160.